Most people believe that London is the capital of the United Kingdom. They are wrong. Tucked inside the heart of that sprawling metropolis is a tiny, 1-square-mile enclave that is older than England itself. There is a shadow official who sits in the British Parliament. He was not elected. You do not know his name. But he has the power to scrutinize every law before the public even knows it exists. He is there to ensure the government never touches the trillions of dollars flowing through his borders. This is not a neighborhood. It is a sovereign corporate state. A 1,000-year-old glitch in the matrix where international banks have more voting power than human beings. Welcome to the City of London. In the world of fortune and ruin, this is the house. And as you are about to learn, the house always wins. Look for the silver dragons. They guard every entrance to this invisible country. When you step past one of these statues, you leave the jurisdiction of Scotland Yard. You are now under the watch of the City of London Police. This is a private force, answerable only to the corporation itself. Inside these borders, the Lord Mayor is the supreme authority. He is not the king. He is not the prime minister. In fact, there is a famous ceremony where the King of England must stop at the border of the city. He must wait for the Lord Mayor to present him with the sword of the city. It is a symbolic reminder that while he may be the king of the United Kingdom, inside these 1.1 square miles, he is merely a guest. Why does a tiny patch of land need this level of autonomy? It is because the city is not a place of residence. It is a place of capital. Out of the 500,000 people who work here, only 8,000 actually sleep here. The rest are soldiers in a global financial army, protected by a legal shield that has been forged over 10 centuries. How is this legal? To find the answer, we must look at the blood-soaked deal that started it all. In the year 1066, William the Conqueror had a choice. He could lay siege to the wealthiest, most fortified city in England, or he could make a deal with the devil. He chose the deal. He issued a charter. It was a promise that the city would remain a separate entity with its own ancient liberties. For the next millennium, the city became the ATM for the crown. Every time a monarch needed to fund a war, they had to go to the square mile to beg for a loan. And every time they borrowed, the city demanded more autonomy in return. They did not just survive history, they bought history. When the city did not like a king, they funded his enemies. When they did not like a law, they funded a revolution. By the time the British Empire was at its peak, the city was its engine. But when the empire collapsed after World War II, the city did not die. It mutated. In the 1950s, they realized they did not need a physical empire if they could own the world's debt. They created the Eurodollar market. This was a legal loophole that allowed United States banks to trade dollars in London without following United States Federal Reserve rules. This was the birth of the modern offshore world. It allowed the city to become the mothership of a global web of tax havens, stretching from the Caymans to the British Virgin Islands. The power of the city is not a relic of the past. It is actively protected right now. The official title of the man responsible is the Remembrancer. He is the spy in the House of Commons. He is the only person who is not an elected member of Parliament allowed on the floor of the House. He is a silent observer. His only job is to remind the government that the city is untouchable. If a law is proposed that threatens the secrecy of these financial flows, the Remembrancer is there to lobby for an exemption before the public ever hears about it. Then there is the corporate vote. In the elections for the city, human beings do not matter. Corporations do. A massive bank like Goldman Sachs or HSBC gets up to 79 votes, while a regular resident gets only 1. It is an institutional plutocracy hiding in plain sight. The government of the city, known as the City of London Corporation, does not represent people. It represents capital. They have their own courts. They have their own schools. They have their own diplomatic corps that travels the world, acting as an ambassador for the global financial elite. Behind the closed doors of their ornate guild halls, the real decisions of global finance are made. This is where the hidden architecture of money is maintained. The independence of the city allows it to act as a clearinghouse for money that does not want to be found. Because the city is not subject to the same transparency laws as the rest of the United Kingdom, it has become a black box. This is why London is the true capital of global finance. It is not because of the technology or the talent. It is because of the legal ghost status that was granted to them by a Viking conqueror 1,000 years ago. So, what does this mean for you? It means that the global financial system is not a chaotic accident. It is a designed architecture. It is a system where the most powerful entities on Earth do not need to follow the laws of nations because they have their own. The City of London has spent 1,000 years staying one step ahead of the law by becoming the law. It survived the Great Fire. It survived the Blitz. It survived the fall of an empire. It did this by transforming itself into a legal phantom. When you look at the silver dragons, you are not looking at history. You are looking at the border of the only place on Earth where the house always wins. If you want to see the hidden hand behind the next global crisis, you must look past the politicians and the headlines. You must look toward the square mile. This is Fortune and Ruin. If you found this story of a state within the City of London interesting, subscribe to join us as we unearth more untold stories.